From the fantasy armchair, it is the Fantasy TyRant.
Hey there, fellow fantasy football freaks. Welcome back to the Fantasy Armchair. What an interesting first week of preseason, wasn't it? The games may not mean much, but the clues that we're getting about the fantasy football relevance of some of these players, priceless. And I did already let you know how I feel about preseason week 1, as well as my rankings after this past weekend. If you missed that show, floating right there above my head. Enjoy. After this one, of course. As you can see, I'm back on the road here in North Carolina at the Wright Brothers National Monument in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Kill Devil Hills? It's a fucking badass name. What a badass name for a town and perfect venue for this badass host of this badass show. Anyway, let's move along. Other than knowing your craft, preparing well, trading well, being a waiver wire wizard, and just being a fantasy football pimp, finding the hidden gems that make your team shine while making your team deep and powerful throughout the entire season is paramount to being a fantasy football champion worthy enough of crushing the league. Fantasy football, we've got a term for these players. We call them sleepers. Now, I killed it with my sleeper list last season, as many of you know, and I'm looking to do the same this season. So over the next week or so, I'm going to be going over my sleepers at each position. And I'm starting out on this video with a 2-for-1. Yeah, you're welcome. You're getting both the QBs and the tight ends in this video. I'll let you know why I'm looking to snatch these guys up in every one of my drafts. And these are guys that you can wait until the end of your drafts to pick up. Real quick before that, I'm letting you know that I've created a hashtag TyRant Gang League all on its own. That's the Fantasy Kingdom League. If you haven't got your invite yet, let me know. I'll give you the invite. It's first come, first serve. We've got 6 more spots to fill. Want more information on that? Check it out in the description below. And also check out my Patreon while you're at it to get one-on-one advice, to get cheaper entry into this league, get free entries in the contest, bonus content, and so much more. For as low as $5 a month, why not? Check it out down there. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe as well. I appreciate all of that. And remember, as soon as I hit 1,000 subs, I'm going to be doing that double Grandprize Giveaway. Yeah, 2 grand prizes. Plus, it ensures that I'll be sticking around for years to come to help you kill it in your fantasy leagues. And this season's no different. I pledge to help you reach fantasy glory. Speaking of which, with no further ado, here you go. Here are my sleepers at the QB and tight end positions for the 2022 draft. First off, let's talk about the quarterbacks. Yeah, in most one-quarterback leagues, you probably aren't taking a second quarterback. But a lot of us are playing in Superflex leagues, 2 QB leagues, Dynasty leagues, Best Ball leagues, and these are leagues where you want to have 2 or more quarterbacks. Now, these are quarterbacks that are taken outside of the top 20. That could end up being inside the top 20, maybe even inside the top 15. Here are some quarterbacks no one's thinking about that you need to have your mind on. And to start off, I think the setup for Marcus Mariota in Atlanta is perfect to produce a QB2 or QB1 even on some weeks. I know it sounds a bit crazy, but hey, even my crazy picks turn out a lot of the time. More often than not, really. So listen up. There's a bit of a method to my madness. First of all, it's clear to me that this was the Falcons' plan all along. Pick up a vet hybrid QB on the cheap in the offseason to mentor the potential heavy rookie hybrid QB. And while we're at it, if the head coach worked with this QB the last time he was relevant, even better. Yeah, maybe Arthur Smith will bring back that borderline offensively named exotic smash-mouth offense the Titans utilized with Mariota at the helm. Let's just turn the whole team exotic, right? Instead of the Falcons, we'll make them the fucking Toucans or some shit. Anyway, I hope not, because he only averaged about 17 fantasy points in his first couple years as a starter in that system. Look, all jokes aside, Coach Smith's familiarity with Mariota will help. Marcus has a few weapons around him to work with this time, such as the breakout-ready tight end Kyle Pitts, surprising 2021 breakout star Cordero Patterson, and one of the candidates for top wide receiver in a deep wide receiver draft, rookie Drake London. Bryan Edwards might be a surprise wide receiver too if he finally lives up to his potential. The Falcons have a plan in place for Ritter to eventually take over, but in the meantime, I could see Mariota averaging around, 20 fantasy points a game with a few 25-point games here and there. So you're looking at a potential top 20 QB. Last time he started a game, the one time he did for the Raiders, he scored over 25 fantasy points and rushed for 88 yards and a touchdown. But in Atlanta, he's got guys to throw to. Plus, they can run some option plays with Patterson there in the mix. And rushing yards equal QB fantasy gold. On top of that, he's only 28, which isn't all that old for a QB, even a mobile one. And he's still got fresh tread on the tires, having sat behind Derek Carr for the past couple years. Sure, he could get hurt or eventually lose the job to Ritter. That's why I think in best ball and 2 QB Superflex leagues, you're reaching to get Ritter as well, especially in Dynasty. Speaking of which, Ritter is a deep sleeper on his own, even in redraft leagues where you utilize multiple QBs. If you want to see more about why I love him, check out this video floating above my head. Yeah, I go over the different rookies at different positions, and in this video, I'm going over the QBs. Even if you don't have Mariota, Desmond Ritter may be worth a stash, and you'll see why. Speaking of rookies and the Titans, Malik Willis could Ryan Tannehill. That is to say, come in and straight up take over the helm at QB in Tennessee. Now, in that same video I was talking about before, I talk about why I'm into Willis this season too. I absolutely love this guy, and I might even have him too low on the totem pole. Willis could be the real deal as advertised. In his first bout of NFL action this past Thursday against the Ravens, he went 6 of 11 for 107 yards and added 5 rushes for 38 yards and a touchdown, playing only half the game. I know it's only preseason, but he looks good so far, and if Tannehill loses favor or gets hurt, watch out. Another mobile QB, fantasy gold, good for a taxi or a deep bench stash. I'm going to talk about one more QB deep sleeper, and that's my double deep danger dive at the quarterback position, Tyler Huntley. Now, I hate to predict injuries, but mobile quarterbacks have a tendency to pick those up, don't they? Now, Lamar Jackson has stayed relatively healthy for a mobile QB over the past few years, although last year he missed 5 games due to injury. And while Huntley really only had one monster game, and that was in Week 15 against the Packers, dude showed some big-time, big-game potential. And in the first game of the preseason, he went 16 of 18 for 109 yards and a touchdown, adding in 3 rushes for 17 yards on the ground in one half a play. He's a poor man's Lamar Jackson in a lot of ways, and with another year of training camp under his belt and working closely with Jackson, if he was called upon to spell another Lamar Jackson injury, you could have a top 15 QB week to week with top 10, even top 5 potential in Huntley. Super deep leagues or best ball, he's worth a spot if you got one. So those are some sleeper QBs I like. Now let's move on to the tight ends. And the tight end sleeper I'm liking the most this season is Irv Smith of the Minnesota Vikings. And we were all hyped up on him coming into last season. Fortunately, though, he tore his meniscus in preseason, and that was it for his season. And he had to sit idly by and watch as KJ Osborne and Tyler Conklin took all his targets. And now he's back, he's healthy, Conklin gone. This dude is ready to take over. It's Irv Smith season, baby! In case you forgot why we're so hyped on him, when Kyle Rudolph went down with injury in 2020, Smith took over, and over the last 4 games of the season, he was the tight end 4 overall. That's after he had a 2-touchdown breakout in Week 9 that season. Sure, he's a full year removed from that, he's also fully recovered from the knee injury, and set to go back to where he left off. No, I don't think he'll be a tight end 4, but he could crack the top 10. I have him around tight end 12, whereas other analysts have him like between 17 and 20. I think he shakes out to be a low-end tight end 1 rather than a middling or low tight end 2. No conk means all the tight end work will go to Irv and a Kevin O'Connell offense that had the Rams going to the tight end more than the Vikings the last couple seasons. So all signs point to a breakout season for Irv. Which means if you don't get one of the top guys, you can wait on a guy like Irv Smith or this guy here, Cole Kmet. I know I've been banging on the drum for this guy for the last couple seasons, but last season we started to see some consistency, and in a Justin Fields run offense, it's going to be him and Darnell Mooney who get all the attention. A lot of analysts are onto him though, so he's not really much of a sleeper, but someone you can wait late in the draft to pick up at least. Want to go deeper?
That's what she said!
Then how about my double deep danger dive at tight end, the Chargers' Donald Parham. I love this kid. I've been talking him up the past couple years, and I think this season he can take over the tight end 1 position for the Chargers over Gerald Everett. Not right away, but eventually. Yeah, I know I said that was possible last season, but for some reason, my shitless superstar, Jared Cook, took an extra long piss in my cornflakes and didn't allow this guy to get the footing he needed. He staved off Parham's takeover by having a career year. But be it due to injury or just straight up being the best man for the job, I think Parham, that sounds dumb as shit. Parham? Really? Is that how you pronounce your name for real? Are you really sure it's not supposed to be pronounced Parham? Come on. Parham makes me think of Rumham.
Rumham!
Anyway, last season, he totaled only 27 targets, caught 20 of them for 190 yards and 3 touchdowns. If you extrapolate that out to an average tight end season of about 80 targets, that would be 59 catches for 560 yards and 9 touchdowns. That's 169
69
fantasy points, and that would have been good enough for the tight end 8 last season. All I'm saying is, if given a chance, the dude could be a solid tight end 1. Maybe he gets that chance this season, maybe he doesn't. But if you're in a deep league with a deep bench or a taxi squad, he's worth a stash. Otherwise, keep an eye on him, and if Gerald Everett goes down or falls out of favor, pick this kid up, especially in Dynasty, if he's still available. So there it is, folks. You're 2 for 1. Want some more help with your draft? We've got another sleeper video coming out later this week that's going to cover the running backs, and then another one later that'll cover the wide receivers. But if you want more advice from me right away, go ahead and sign up with me on Patreon and get that one-on-one advice that you need to crush your draft. I will help you draft the most killer squad that you can find and help you make that mad money. Just check out my Patreon link down there in the description for more information. And for as little as $5 a month, you get one-on-one advice, you get free entries in the contests, you get discounted entries in the leagues, bonus content, so much more. No other guru is giving it to you for that cheap. They actually charge you more for advice that doesn't even touch what I'm going to give you. There's only one guy giving you all that great advice for such a low price, and that's me, the Fantasy Tyrant. Don't you forget it. Hit like and subscribe if you like the show. Subscribe so that I can get to the 1,000 subscribers and get that double grand prize giveaway going for you. Thank you always for your support. Remember, I'm coming out later this week with another video going over the running back sleepers. Plus, on Sunday, I'll be doing an updated top 150 overall, plus my rankings at each position. Hopefully, I'll have the technical difficulties of the live stream worked out by then, but we'll see. Regardless, I promise a better show this next Sunday than we just had this past Sunday. All right, I guarantee that. Till then, good luck in your drafts. Thanks for your support. I'll see you Sunday. I'm out. Peace.